thank you to whole the Progetto Paradiso organization because I'm very happy that we can continue this collaboration. In the past few years, we have been able to bring several Brazilian projects and several Brazilian professionals in Trieste. I think that some of you probably already came, or I'm sure that some of you will come in the future. So this is exactly what we're trying to do for today. And since we confirmed this collaboration and actually we expanded this collaboration with Progetto Paradiso, I prepare a very, let's say, short presentation of the opportunities so that we can go through all our programs and we can just like I can introduce them and then we can have a little chat just to if you have any question and if you have any curiosity about our program so that I can convince you to apply and to come to Trieste. So uh, let me first of all start from the beginning. I don't know if you can see everything. Okay. So first of all, Venice Meets West, as Josephine was mentioning before, is more than a co-production market because of course we have the marketplace, so we have a project market, but we have also many other different activities that are targeting different type of professionals from all over the world. The dates for the next edition are 18 to 20 of January. So it's going to be just like a full 3 days. And the market takes place in Trieste, in Italy, which is right on the border with Slovenia. So we're just like literally 5 kilometers away from the border. And this is why from the very beginning, we decided to go for a very straight title of our action, which is When East Meets West, which is exactly Trieste. So for the 2026 edition, we have several programs. Some of them are targeting producers from all over the world. Some of them are targeting only, let's say, European professionals or European projects. So today I will focus mostly on the activities that are targeting producers from all over the world, and in particular those where there would be a possibility to have a scholarship from Progetto Paradiso. So as I was mentioning, the co-production forum is still our, let's say, main activity. And it's a project market where we collect 20 projects from all over the world. And I will get more in details immediately. Then we have a couple of works in progress sessions, including one session which is called also First Cut Plus, where I guess there is still hopefully a collaboration with Progetto Paradiso. I don't know this, Josephine, if there is still or not, but this is something that in the past we had also the possibility to welcome, because this is a section that is run by Tatino Film, which is a session run by an organization that organizes a series of labs called First Cut Lab. They end up having a presentation in Trieste. So this is the works in progress sections where unfortunately we don't have right now, apart from Frisco Plus, something for Brazilian projects. Same goes for the AVE Slate. The AVE Slate is a program that, as you can see, is run by EAVE. I guess that you know EAVE is one of the, let's say, leading training organization for producers in the world. This EAVE Slate used to be open to all Latin American professionals. We had a specific group for Latin Americans. Unfortunately, as probably all of you know, Italy is not part anymore of Ibermedia. And since Ibermedia was the main funder of this additional group from Latin America, unfortunately, we don't have the chance to add on top of this. But luckily, we have a series of inspirational labs where all Brazilians and all Latin American professionals are eligible. And also for this, there is a possibility to have, let's say, a confirmation of a secure spot for one Brazilian, thanks to the support of Progetto Paradiso. And then, of course, another activity that it's open to producers from all over the world is the new activity called Film X Games Connection Hub, where there is no partnership with Progetto Paradiso, but you're still able to apply. So I will start with the co-production forum very quickly. As we said, the Co-Production Forum is trying to select 20 projects. In the past few years, we got around 500 submissions, so it's very, very competitive. But we try to get projects that are not only the best, but the project that we can help the most. And we have three types of projects. We go from live action features, creative documentaries, and short animation projects. This means that if you are selected with a live action feature project, with a fiction feature project, you could get the scholarship from Progetto Paradiso. But if you apply, if you're, for example, a documentary producer or animation producer, you can apply, but in case you're selected, unfortunately, the scholarship will not apply because Progetto Paradiso is supporting only the participation with the fiction project. Of course, we request the projects to be in a development and financing stage because we really try to facilitate as much as possible co-production. And this is why we try to select projects that have a clear international co-production potential, which means that we want to make sure that you find in Trieste your possible ideal co-producers for your project. And in order to be more, let's say, convincing when trying to identify some potential co-producers, we try to request to all the projects to have already the 10% of the total production budget already in place. So that makes it clear that somebody is already investing in your project, and it can be a bit easier to attract the interest from other producers. This year, as you can see, we have a system of submission fees, which means that right now there is no fee to apply to submit your project. Until the 10th of October, it will be completely free. But since we have a huge number of submissions and let's say the evaluation process is getting longer and more, let's say, complicated, and we need more readers and we need more time, this is why we introduce a last minute fee, which is 20 euros in order to submit your project after 11th of October. Of course, we recommend everyone to try to, if you're interested in applying to the Co-Production Forum, to submit by October 10th so that we can start the evaluation process on time, and especially you will have no fee to pay. Inspirational Labs. Sorry, just also to come back to the Co-Production Forum. The Co-Production Forum, as I said, is for 20 projects. We normally try to have 10 fiction projects, 8, 9 documentaries, and 1, 2 short animation projects. This is like more or less the... And what we do, we have a full day of preparation when you arrive. We will do first online, if you're selected, a training program, a pitching training program. Then you have on site, you have a preparation day with the last fine-tuning system with our experts. Then second day, you will pitch in the morning in a big room in front of 400, 500 professionals. So it's a very beautiful moment where all the Venice Meets West attendees gather. And then you have 1.5 days of individual meetings where all the decision makers and professionals attending, they can request directly meetings with your project. So this is, of course, we have many different awards from cash prizes to other prizes, but we can speak in case you have additional questions at the end of the presentation. As we were saying, this year we are happy to launch a collaboration with Progetto Paradiso in order to secure the selection and participation of one Brazilian producer in one of our inspirational labs. The inspirational labs, it's a concept that we developed 3 years ago. Right now, for this edition, we have 8 different inspirational labs. The idea of the labs is to stimulate producers from all over the world to discover new content, produce new formats, explore new business models. And all these labs are basically run in partnership with major training providers or markets from all over the world. So each single lab is curated by an organization that is specialized in that specific field. And we will now see what I mean. In terms of eligibility, these labs are open to producers from Europe, Canada, and Latin America, the whole Latin America. And there are some labs that might be with fiction project or without a project. And let's say that in terms of experience, some of the labs require a certain type of experience, some other no. But in general, since they are supposed to be inspirational, you are not expected to have experience in the field of interest in that specific lab. The methodology of the labs, it's very diverse. So there is group work, there are lectures, case study, individual consultation, group meetings. And it's every lab has different international experts and industry advisors. In terms of dates, the date of the lab are the same as you can see of the market, but this means that every lab runs around approximately 3 up to 4 hours maximum per day, which means that you are attending the lab with your group, but then you can enjoy and you can join all the other activities of When It's Meets West. So basically, you can really, it's a, we let's say what we find out is that it's a perfect way to leave the market because you are part of a group. It's easier to connect with some people in your lab, but then it's very easy also thanks to the relationship and the connections that you have within your lab to meet all the other participants and decision makers, because it's like maximizing the networking potential that you have in the market. The market is still mid-size, so we have more or less 600 people in general. And thanks to the participation in the lab, it's very easy to connect with the people that you want to meet, because the people that are attending your lab might know the people that you want to meet. So this is something that we saw that it's very, very helpful in terms to maximize the connection. We also want to try to connect the different labs. And this is why on the first day we have a lunch only for all the Inspirational Labs participants, which all in all will be more or less 100. So the first day we will start with an inspirational lunch. And then on top of the labs, the program of the market has a series of inspirational talks, which means that you can attend the talks of all the other labs, talks that are approximately lasting 25-30 minutes. And it's the best way to discover all the other topics so that maybe next years, in the following years, you can apply to the other labs. The deadline for applying to the labs is the 5th of November. You can participate in just one single lab when you attend the market, but when you apply, you can apply to maximum 3 different labs, which means that in order to be sure that you could be selected, better to apply to more than one lab, because in one lab it might be more competitive, it might be more complex to access, and maybe so it's better if you have other interests to apply to other labs. The important thing is that normally we have a participation fee of 250 euros for participating in the lab, but thanks to the partnership with Progetto Paradiso, the scholarship can waive this fee, so you will not have to pay the fee. And on top of this, you will also get the travel grant to fly to Trieste. And on top of this, of course, you will be also offered accommodation. So let's say that the full package, it's for the Brazilian participants selected for the lab, we cover everything thanks to the Progetto Paradiso support. Let's have a proper look at the different labs. As I said, we have this year 8 different inspirational labs. We have the first one called Amazing Intelligence, Anima Spirit, Cold Open, Docsmith Series, Genre Rules, Impact Zone, Sustainable Leadership, and Unlocking Capital. I will briefly go through them, and then I would say that maybe we can have an open discussion if you have any question. First of all, Progetto Paradiso is not the only partner to support the Inspirational Labs. As you can see, we have a long list of other partners, which means that producers from all these countries will attend the labs. So there might be you're basically fellows attending your future lab. So as you can see, we managed, thanks to the support from all these different agencies and funds, to support almost 100 producers that will come to Trieste for the labs. So as I was saying, Amazing Intelligence. Amazing Intelligence, it's a lab in partnership with ACE Producers, which is another training organization for producers. And this is a lab where we try really to expand the knowledge in the fast-paced, ever-changing world of AI. We started it last year and we will confirm this year again. And this lab is both, let's say, trying to focus on the creative aspects of the usage of AI, but also on the business management of the AI. And it's very, very tool-based, it's very hands-on. You are selected here without project, so you can apply and then you will work with our experts directly on the spot in order really to explore all the AI opportunities. Anima Spirit. This is one lab connected to the animation. And of course, here also it's a lab where basically you can participate if you are developing for the first time an animation project. But this I'm not sure if it enters in this maybe we can discuss later also, Josephine, according to each single lab, what are the labs that are more, let's say, suitable for the Progetto Paradiso scholarship. Cold Open, also here, it's another lab running partnership with Midpoint Institute, which is a training provider from Europe, specialized in script and project development. And this is like for producers who are planning to shift towards drama series projects. So if you're planning to work for the first time on a drama series, this is a very, very good project, and you can apply either with the project or without the project. And it's really like the question is that, how do I get started with drama series? Here you find all the answers. For Docsmith series, it's exactly the same, but it's run with Eurodoc, and it's still based on the high-end creative docu-series that have an international perspective. So it's the same thing, and also here you can apply, you might apply with or without a project. Genre rules. In the past, we had some Brazilian participants who attended this lab, so it was successful because there are several producers who are trying now to move more and more from the edgy art house films to some more elevated genre or hardcore genre films. And it's really an hands-on guide to the, let's say, characteristics, the main aspects of the genre cinema. Also here, it's a lot about production, it's a lot about financing, and it's a lot about distribution. So it's like, how do I package my project, my genre project? How do I finance it? And how do I put it in the market? So it's not project-based. So there will not be work on your single project, but there will be a lot of, let's say, lectures and group work where you can really understand what are the best strategies to develop and distribute your genre project. Impact Zone, also here we had in the past Brazilian project participants. It's a project, it's a lab for producers who are keen to prepare, to plan an impact campaign for documentaries, but also for fiction projects. So if you have a fiction project and you want to really develop an impact campaign for your single project, this is project-based. So you can be selected with your fiction project and you can develop your impact campaign and you design it together with the experts of the training program called ESODoc, which stands for European Social Documentary. Sustainable leadership. This is the brand new lab for this year, and it's a lab for the well-being and successful women in film. So it's targeting women film producers, and it's run in partnership with another training provider called International Screen Institute, and they will focus on three main key areas: understanding and strengthening the role in the sector for female producers, preventing burnout and maintaining mental health, and then structuring a sustainable business. This is for more or less up to 15 producers. It's a group, and it's going to be for women producers from all over Europe and beyond. It's not project-based. It's mainly yourself, you are the main project to be discussed during the lab. Finally, and this is the lab that also with Josephine we were discussing last time we spoke. It's really it's a lab that last year was very successful. We introduced it for the first time last year. It's a lab that we are doing in collaboration with the program Investor Circle by Marché du Film Festival de Cannes. And it's a lab for empowering producers to work with private investors. So basically here we try to select producers who have already a medium experience, medium high experience, and it's really offering the possibility to understand how to successfully work with private investors. The lab is run by the Marché du Film, and the curator of the lab is Jean Deforest, is a French producer who was also the head of studies of Puentes some years ago. And it's a lab where the 15 producers are selected together with 5, 6 private investors from all over the world, from Europe, from Asia, from US. And every investor has a different profile. And it's a way to understand, first of all, how private investors are working, what is their editorial line, how to approach them. And it's also a way to understand very well how the waterfall revenues work. So how do I position, how do I play with the in private investors in my revenue plan? It's not project based, but you're selected, and it's really like very, very much in a lot of group work. There are some also possibilities to interact with investors where you sort of pitch your ideas to see, it's more like a test. So to see the different type of investors, how they would react to your projects. So to understand what is their interest and in what they can invest. And this was the last lab. Just a tiny information about this new activity. Is not a lab. Is not going to be part of the partnership of Progetto Paradiso, because it's something not connected to fiction films. But just in case you are, or you know someone who's developing a game project, we are launching in collaboration with Spielfabrik a new program called Film X Games Connection Hub, where basically we want to help film producers to understand how to position, finance, and distribute a game in the market. And what we are going to do for the first time, we are going to bring 10 film producers together with 10 game studios. And we're going to try to see what is going to happen in terms of, let's say, possible matchmaking, so that also the game studios can learn something from our sector, from our film sector, in terms of co-production, in terms of company management. But it's also a way of opportunity to understand whether it's possible to start thinking about co-production within the game sector. And I think that from my side, I think it's I didn't see that a lot of people join us. Sorry, I didn't see. Very happy to see that many people finally join us. So I hope that this was clear. But Josephine, if you want to
Sure.
comment on something, but of course I'm very happy to open up also if you have any possible questions regarding some programs.
Okay. I sent you a little message on WhatsApp. Alessandro might want to look at it. And also, if we have some questions, feel free to ask directly to Alessandro about either the forum, the Cooper Market, or the labs. Feel free. There are very few of us, so it's easy, and it can be really curated to your needs. And don't if anybody wants to ask anything, you can either use the chat or even do it by using the mic, or else we will understand that Alessandro was extremely efficient as always, and has made everything very clear. Anybody?
Good afternoon. My name is Kainan, and I would like to know a little bit more about the primary factors that we'll be evaluating in the selection process. to decide which producer will receive the grant?
So basically, for each lab, we work this way. We collect all the applications and we share the applications with the training provider of that single lab. And we make a final selection, which is based on, first of all, the profile and the motivation letter of the applicants, and also if there is a project attached also to the quality of the project. But what works mostly for all the labs is the profile and the motivation letter. So why at this phase of your career, why right now that specific lab? But just also to clarify something about the Progetto Paradiso scholarship. The Progetto Paradiso scholarship will go mostly to support the possible selection for the co-production forum with the project in the if you're selected for the co-production forum. But in terms of labs, it's going to be for the unlocking capital lab, which is the lab to work with private investors. So it's really like to enhance your possibility to get to meet private investors, but especially to get to know how to work with them. So if you apply for this lab, I would not see it as a sort of, let's say, marketplace to attract new financing, private financing, which of course it can happen, but I would see like really like as a way to learn how to work with them, how to approach them, and how really to consider that the private investment is a necessary sources for any type of project, no matter if it's a genre project or a art house film. There are different type of investors, and there are investors for slate, there are investors for single project, and we will work with all of them. So this is the one where we for sure can hold one seat for one Brazilian participant that can get the scholarship. For all the rest, of course, you're eligible to apply. And then it's also up to you to understand whether it's something that in case you're selected, maybe you have some other possibility to get some, let's say, sources to join us in Trieste.
Thank you for clearing that out. Lorena has a question.
Yes.
And then an answer to Clarissa. Lorena, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm going to open my microphone. Hi, Alessandro. Thank you for the
Hi, Lorena.
presentation. Hi, Josephine, and everybody from Paradiso. Well, so I understand clear that we have this two opportunity with Projeto Paradiso. You already explained everything about the unlock capital. So we Brazilian are more supposed to apply to this one, which is very cheerful, interesting. Coming back to the co-production forum, I would like to clarify a few things, like we need to have 10% of the project finance. Could it be like our own investment in this case?
Let's say that, of course, it can. Let's say that if there is, we know that in certain countries it's very, very complicated to get some development funding in place, and maybe the answers are pending, and so we are perfectly aware of this. So of course, this is something that we decided to include, but of course, in case it's not possible yet to prove that you have some external financing from a fund or other, let's say, development funding sources, if it's your private investment, it's okay. But of course, let's say that we normally tend to recommend to come to our market with something in place because it might be easier to attract the interest from other producers. So it's mainly not for us as a sort of, let's say, pure eligibility criteria, but it's mainly for you to be able to really take advantage of the opportunity.
To have somebody else on board, it gives a little bit more value.
It's easy, exactly. It gives a bit of more value when you pitch the project. Yeah.
And I think Josephine already clarified.
Sorry, Lorena, just wanted to say also that it happened in the past that we selected projects that maybe had not exactly 10%, maybe like, you know, like super solid company, very talented filmmaker, amazing project with a great potential. So of course, it's also our responsibilities to sort of to take a risk.
Okay. And well, as I saw here, like the scholarship from Paradiso is related to the fiction feature film, right? So, but if
Oh,
I
yeah.
if I want to apply for a short animate one, because I do have a project with this one, I can do it. Can I do both applications in this case, or you don't
You
recommend that?
can, in our case, you can apply with both. The only thing is that in case you're selected with the short animation,
You don't-
Progetto Paradiso will not be able to support you,
Right.
but maybe you are able to identify maybe other, I don't know if there is other, let's say, organizations in Brazil or the fund that can somehow be helpful for this.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that one thing is eligibility, and it's much wider than the question of the funding. So you can actually apply to everything as a Brazilian, almost. I mean, at least the CoPro Forum and the labs are open for Brazilian applicants across the board. There's no restrictions. The thing is, we have to, of course, edit and make a choice because we can't support everything. So what we do is via Brasil no Mundo, it's an automatic line of support. However, it's not a guaranteed slot for the CoPro Forum. So it's if a Brazilian project feature fiction is selected, then we support it automatically, but there is no guaranteed slot. Whereas for the labs, the partnership we have in place is that we will secure a slot for a Brazilian, of course, given the quality of the application. Of course, it has to meet all the requirements and have the necessary quality for a Brazilian at the Unlocking Capital lab, which doesn't mean, of course, you can try all the other labs and try to fund yourself for all the other labs. It would be amazing to have Brazilians in all the labs. We can only support one, and we decided to strategically choose actually that lab because we feel like there really is a need for this kind of conversation and training and mind resetting. So it's something that we kind of want to, and then we want to exploit the person who goes to the lab and have him or her come back and tell us everything he learned. So I don't know if Clarissa also this was made answer your question, and we have a question in the chat also. Does Unlocking Capital target producers with previous experience in private financing, or is it also suitable for first timers?
It's absolutely mostly for first timers. This is the whole logic of the inspirational labs. Better not to have experience in that field that the lab covers, because it's a way to learn something new. It's a way to be inspired. So let's say that, of course, it's not mandatory not to have any type of experience. So if you had some experience with private investors, it's fine. But normally it's really not for producers who are constantly working already with private investors, because they don't need a lab. They already know how to work with them. And they know how really to find them and to get them involved in their project. I just wanted to quickly follow up to what Josephine was saying, because I think that what Progetto Paradiso is doing is amazing, because, like until last year, we were really able to welcome up to 18 Latin American professionals, thanks to the support of Ibermedia. Unfortunately, this has completely gone because of this change of setup, where Italy is not eligible anymore, so we cannot apply as a market anymore to Ibermedia, and we cannot anymore support you to come to Trieste. So I think that this is a way already to a huge effort to continuously support your participation, and I think that it's already a big miracle that we are able to secure at least one spot for the next year.
And I kind of want to also add that sometimes we have other markets more in our radar, like, I don't know, Cannes, CDMart, whatever. But when East Meets West is less known maybe in Brazil, even though now it is very well known, of course, thanks to all the efforts that were undertaken, but it's a great I think opportunity for like this boutique networking. And if you want to talk to some of the producers who went before, I know Faela Costa had her project with Caru, Boccia. They actually, I think, won a prize. I can't remember now. You actually have some really interesting prizes as well. Maybe they were not mentioned. I can't remember now. But anyway, so it's super. And Alessandro and his team, they really make sure that you make the right connections. They super curate your experience in a way that you just don't see anywhere else, I feel. So, and it's this intersection of geographic regions, what that he mentioned. So it's interesting sometimes, like you meet good producers you wouldn't meet anywhere else. I really strongly recommend it. And all the producers whom we've supported so far, or who have had the chance, because in the 2 years where Latin America was part of this big effort, many have gone and come back and really super satisfied with their experience. And sometimes it's not on our top, I don't know, like we don't really, these markets, they're lesser known, and I think they really are a great place to look at. You agree?
I agree, because I also, let's say that, of course, our main core is still Europe, of course,
Yeah.
compared to other countries or other markets where the editorial line is much more, let's say, 360 degrees. But we want to keep these connections, and we want to try really to maintain this strong connection with Latin America in all our sections. So that's why we're keeping working with the great partners that have been with us since the beginning. So yeah. And speaking
Good.
about Cinemart, if you're planning to go to Cinemart for whatever reasons, if you're selected with projects, if you're selected because you want to go to Cinemart, consider the Cinemart is just a few days after Venice Meets West. So in case you are planning to come to Venice Meets West because maybe you're selected in any other activities, or if you're planning to go to Cinemart for your own reasons, consider that you might try to do the combo, the two different markets.
True. Usually it's closer in time, so it's easier. This time it's a bit, has I think like 10 days in between. But it's really interesting. You might think of that. It's a very good point. And Clarissa says Levante was at the WIP. It's true. I should have said that. And it was fantastic. I absolutely agree. Well, good one, Clarissa. Anybody else has questions, or maybe I think we covered pretty much everything. I don't see a hand raised. I don't see a question in the chat. So I guess we can just thank Alessandro for being with us and answering our questions, and also catering this opportunity for the Brazilian public. I think it's really great what you do. Keep the great job going. And if you have any question, you can also write to us, paradiso@ior.org.br. Yeah, fingers crossed to have many Brazilians at Trieste. Brazilians taking over when East meets West.
We are ready. We are ready to welcome you all. So yeah.
Thank you everybody for being with us, and good luck. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Alessandro. Bye-bye.
Thank you.